Are
I
we
mean,
recording now? Are we recording? That's the.
well, yeah, we are recording now, but in the interim, we were chatting about the whole, yes, we're live, or the and we're live. Uh, for well, first off, hello, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, ladies and gentlemen who want to watch what we're doing. We're doing Dungeon World House of the Sun. We have only two of our four players, but you know what? The show must go on, as it were. So, for those of you watching who want to run games using Google Hangouts, you can always know you're live by the little yellow box with the capital letters LIVE in the upper right hand corner. It tells you you're live when you're live, and you get the fun little ding in your brain if you're wearing headphones. So, with that said, we have our buddies. You know what? We'll let them introduce themselves and give their character names and maybe a tiny bit of character info if they'd like. From my left to my right, we have our buddy Ian. Ian, what's up, man?
Hey, hi Nelson. Hi everyone. Okay, right. In this game then, this evening, it's evening for me. We'll be playing Sister Helga, Maiden of the Hammer, a cleric. She's spent most of her life in the cloisters and has been sent out, shall we say. It's not exactly kicked out, but forcibly evicted into the world to help solve the problems of the undead. And she's partnered up with Sir Roland, and let's do it now.
Do it now.
Don't get me started with Arnold. Because I will never stop.
And with that, we might as well get you started on something. Sean, go right ahead.
Hey, so what's up? I'm Sean, aka the Rock by the Giving Beast, and I'm gonna be playing Sir Roland of Thorn, a paladin, a follower of Amos, the god of justice, and he is dedicated to fight the undead hordes, and he wants to also bring back this artifact, the sword, because it is a holy artifact, and he cannot think he's a man dedicated to justice because he has seen a lot of injustice when he was younger. Comes from a poor peasant family, and but he was always, the one thing that always kept him going was his belief in justice and in Amos, and so he was once trained by by the paladins of Amos, and he's been very dedicated about that. He's a bit at times, well, let me see here. He's charismatic, where he's got high charisma, but that means he's very he can portray his beliefs and stuff. But he is a little bit not naive. He's not disinterested a little bit in a lot of worldly things, but he will pretend faint interest.
Alrighty. And I'm going to be playing all the assholes known as NPCs today. Uh, so we're going to be playing Dungeon World, and I've only actually played a single game of Dungeon World. I've never run Dungeon World, but it is one of those systems that to me seems so amazing. I'm compelled to share it with as many people as humanly possible. Before we get into the actual game, there are a few cool little mechanical things and quirks. We've already worked out the bonds between these two characters, and Sean, you were asking about, as a paladin, you have your vows, right?
Yeah. I get boons, but for that I get 2 boons, but for that I have to take a vow, and the vow you have to give me the vow.
So the vows, the choices of vow are honor, forbidden cowardly tactics and tricks, temperance, forbidden gluttony in food, drink, and pleasure of the flesh. Piety, required observance of daily holy services, Valor, forbidden, suffering an evil creature to live. Truth, forbidden, lies. Hospitality, comfort to those in need, no matter who they are. So you're required to take a single vow, right?
Yeah.
Um, Now, where are your...
My boons are I have freedom from hunger, thirst, and sleep, and the other one is invulnerability to something. And I haven't written down yet because I want to do something that is related with undead.
Okay, it's what it is it's part of the quest. The questing move in Dungeon World, for you who don't know, pretty much everything is arbitrated by moves. The player's abilities, the player's spells, attacks, conflict resolution, everything is relegated to a move, but it's very elegant in the way that they do it. The starting move is quest for the paladin. When you dedicate yourself to a mission through prayer and ritual cleansing, state what you set out to do. Okay, so that's
Okay.
one.
Oh yeah, I have that too. That is my quest is slay the undead, a great blight on the land. Because the
Okay.
undead, they are basically what they do. They are not only breaking the law, they're breaking the cosmic law of still pretending to be alive when they should be dead. It is a mockery of the law of the gods or God. I don't know how in this world if there's one God or many gods.
All right. So, um, I think a perfect vow for that is valor. Suffering. You are forbidden to suffer an evil creature to live.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because it sounds like one of those things, you know. Cleanse the wild of the undead. Do
Yeah.
not suffer undeath to live. For life is for the living.
Yep.
You know, that's great. That's perfect. All right.
And then I wanted to ask about the invulnerability too, what was like necrotic damage or like something like that would make sense.
All right. Edged weapons, fire, enchantment. I mean, you're on a quest. Like, what? Okay, we can get the ball rolling with a discussion, which is how you do most things in Dungeon World, which is great because it's kind of what we do anyway. Personally, what I think of like a paladin is when you're on a quest, because this is like being on a quest. You're singular of purpose, right?
Yeah.
So you know you're singular of purpose. You have a vow of valor, which you refuse to suffer an evil creature to live. So the first thing that pops in my head, especially when I read and it says enchantment, is you know like nothing can wane over your nothing could pull the veil over your eyes and distract you from your purpose.
Well, but it's not in. Okay, so I'm invulnerable to illusion then,
I mean that could be cool too.
or distraction. Like, okay, because that's like invulnerability. I'm imagining that's something because what you're describing, that's like that I am not affected by. But invulnerability is like something literally cannot affect my body.
Well,
Like
it's
that's
just
why I was thinking like any kind of necrotic damage. That I still get damage, but I don't become a zombie or a vampire or something.
I mean you can it's your choice.
Hmm.
Okay, uh, it's your choice, but it does mention enchantment in the invulnerability, and enchantment usually is a mind affecting thing. So
I'll say an enchantment. Okay.
So, you know, enchantment, illusions, fire, edged weapons, blunt weapons, you
I'll
know.
say enchantment. Yeah, it makes sense in that sense. So that's actually the first one I wanted to do anyway. Either that or some kind of like I cannot become a vampire or something like that. So
I mean, you can have that too. You know, you are, or the paladins of your church, while on their quest to fight the undead, cannot become one of the undead. You know.
I actually like it more if it's just I'm immune to enchantment, because like yeah, let's just stick with the enchantment, and then freedom from hunger, thirst, and sleep, and then valor forbidden for evil to leave to. Like when I fight it, I have to always kill it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, that saying, people are going to recognize the saying from 40K before they recognize the saying from history, but the saying of "suffer not the witch to live."
Yeah, like in the witch trials from the past.
Yeah. But most people don't know that there's a great deal of people that play 40K that are like, "Oh, that's like the Inquisitor." Yeah.
Yeah, because it's mostly from medieval and like medieval to 18th century Europe kind of stuff. It's from
all right,
40K.
But before we get in a convoluted discussion about
history
and how it informs our role playing, to the Dungeon World stuff, are there any other? I mean, I know you're human because it's the only race option there. So when you pray for guidance. Well, you pray for guidance, even for a moment, and ask, "What here is evil?" The GM will tell you, honestly, which is a pretty cool move. Are there any other?
Detect evil. That's what it is. A really fancy way. Detect evil.
Anything? Well,
don't worry. I'll role play it out. I'm not gonna just say
anything else. I hope not.
No, I have everything else. No, I wouldn't. It will be lame.
All right, Ian. Any questions on your part for Helga?
Just the one that I could probably look up myself, but being a dwarf cleric, she can commune with stone. It says it works something like a rogue. Where's it go?
No, I think it's a.
Or a rote.
Yeah. Oh no. It's a rote, but you get like some really high level spell. Let's see. I mean, you could look it up yourself, but I'm here, and let's help, and we could,
Words of the unspeakable. It says it works as words of the unspeakable, whatever that is.
Okay. You are one with stone. When you commune, you are also granted a special version of Words of Unspeaking as a rote. Okay, so Words of Unspeaking should be somewhere. I think it's a spell. It's a high-level spell. Words of the Unspeaking is a 5th level spell. So with a touch, you speak to the spirits within things. The non-living object you touch answers 3 questions you pose as best it can. So you can do that, but only with stone.
Right.
All right. So was that the only question?
Yeah, I think I'm good to go on the other things. Yeah.
All right. Be a beautiful baby.
You crazy man.
So
one more thing, just so you know, one of my abilities is also that that I ignore the clumsy tag when I'm wearing armor.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
The tags that you get on items are they're role play for the most part. Because you would think if you're clumsy wearing armor, so maybe you have problems like if you're running or if you're trying to run towards or away from an enemy that is just a bit too much for you to handle. I could just throw in, well, you're clumsy, so maybe you might need a balance check here and there because you might tip over and fall because you're not trained in armor. It's not, you don't wear armor as a second skin. It's just this heavy shell that your paranoid ass is wearing because you don't want to die, But for you've trained in it repeatedly, over and over and over, and you do wear it as a second skin. where to compensate, how much you can grip with your gauntlets because you can't ball your fist up as normal, things of that nature.
Obviously, yeah.
The same thing with weapons, like let's see, two-handed weapon is of course two-handed. Close just means you don't necessarily need to be engaged with the target, but you do need to be fairly close. It's just like role play terms for flavoring the weapons and to inform us of the types of attacks and attack resolutions we might take.
Sure. Okay.
All right. But with that said, give me a minute. I'm going to get another tank of high octane fuel, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
You can if you would be so kind as to share your bonds with the audience, or maybe further develop those bonds in a way, feel free. Or you just want to step away and get some high octane fuel to yourself.
Well, I got some juice here, so.
Yeah, I'm juiced out.
Juiced out, yeah.
Should be alright.
So, Ian,
Yes.
do you have who does Helga follow? What god? You came up with a god?
I came up with an expression and no god's name, which means that we could follow the same god. Helga's is a maiden of the hammer, so potentially I was thinking like a Norse shield maiden. She she follows a specific aspect of the god.
Well, you could. I mean, that's the thing too. Like a god have multiple different aspects and being a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like as I said, I'm like Amos, god of justice. That's pretty much it. I'll develop the other thing then later. But
what was his name again? Amos.
Amos, Amos.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. So, yeah, Helga, you mentioned that your guy was not particularly worldly. Well, neither is Helga. So she's got the wisdom to go with the spells, but I figured she's also been like cooped up in in the cloisters of this nunnery for like most of her life, and just recently come out, met up with Sir Roland for this particular quest, and we've sort of I think we've hit it off fairly well.
Yeah.
She thinks she feels like not exactly a mother hen, but like a sister to you, sister in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
And she's here to keep you alive because she feels that you are the one destined to get this this sword that we're after.
Mm-hmm. Well, my bond is that we fought together and we trust each other. So we have basically. I trust you because, like me, you're very dedicated to your faith, in the pantheon that we follow.
Yep.
And so we are both very dedicated to bring that back, even if we have maybe some differences in opinion or whatever. But usually, the thing is, we agree that the undead, they need to be dead again. They have to be re-dead.
Re-dead, yeah.
Re-killed.
Yep, absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what he's doing, and he's at time a little bit too focused on that, but he's very dedicated, and with the charisma of 16, people do listen to him.
Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth, Sister Helga's like, oh.
I'm not like the bard kind of charisma charmer. I'm like this is the right way to do it, and we have to follow it, and we will go. Like I'm more like a preacher almost. So. Well,
you're charismatic. Being a charismatic person is being a charismatic person. Now, how you choose to utilize that charisma is entirely up to you.
People like me because of the way how I act. I know so, but that's charisma can be shown in many ways. So
All right, so that's
yeah.
probably why you were chosen to search out. You were one of the many chosen to search out this artifact. Um, for any viewers now, live or viewing in the future, the backdrop to what's going on is that in the northern lands of this world, the dead are rising like an unerring tide that they just keep pushing and pushing forward. Um, the dead have been felled, they have been destroyed, but whenever the sun rises or sets, in that time the dead rise along with the sun to push forward again and again and again. And no matter the valor, the strength, the skill, the power of the heroes that are rising against this tide of undeath, at the best, they can only meet it. They can only stall it. They can only hold it back and slow it down. And they've had one boon to them, these iron spikes made of pitch black metal. The iron spikes are rumored to be forged from the black gates of Death's realm, and that sends the undead back. It's if you hammer the spike into the chest of an undead, it withers away to nothing, along with the iron spike. Now, the crafters and mages and clerics that work tirelessly to forge these iron spikes cannot forge them fast enough. They're losing this war, and the undead tide is slowly gaining ground every day, every sunrise. So, dozens of adventurers, dozens of soldiers, druids, clerics, priests, anyone that could be gathered and spared to be sent out to search for this artifact has been. They've been spread across the world. Your group is but one. um, the rumors of the sword's location is a temple, to a god of a sun, or it's an offshot religion. Not much is known about the religion from outsiders, but that it's in this town surrounded by these woods, and these woods are haunted by giant creatures. They say that the wolves grow to twice the size of men, that their fur is as black as night, and their fires burn with the flames of hell. And, being people of such strong faith, dedication, and purpose as you took on this leg of the journey. You have to find this artifact. And as your journey, your quest, your purpose is cycling through your head, Sir Robert, Sir Roland, Sir Roland of Thorn. Tell me, how are you being driven by this purpose as you're holding open the maw of a slavering beast, trying to rip your head off? A beast as black as night, with fires of hell burning in its
Oh,
eyes.
so okay, so I'm fighting the beast. Okay. Um. Well, I'm definitely afraid because it's quite a shocking creature to see, and it's only I've seen them in textbooks mentioned at most, and with drawn, but it's quite a different feeling to try to fight one of these creatures. As the maw is like closing, I just think to myself, if I die, I will die a good death, and I will go into the halls. I will follow where my ancestors, the ones that my brothers have fallen, into the halls of justice, where Amos sits. And when he decides my fate with his great hammer of justice, then I will have a good I can show him a good life of service to him and to his cause, and that's what I'm thinking. And so, as I'm holding the maws open with the two hands, I try to put in the shield into the mouth of the creature, so it like stays open, kind of ram it in, and then I want to go down and grab the sword. So actually with my left arm, putting in the shield, crushing it in, and like hearing sickening noises of the beast as it's like the teeth are gnawing and some of them are breaking off. But the shield starts to bend a bit, and I go down with my right arm to pick up my sword that has been dropped, and basically stabbing it through the mouth into the brain. The dark burning blood, almost blackish blood, oozing out of the brain.
All right. So with the shield thing, you know, forcing the shield into the creature's maw, trying to keep it from closing in upon you. If you would be so kind as to give me a defy danger roll.
Okay.
And,
so is that like 2D? Is defy danger 2d6 plus?
Every move is powered from a 2d6 roll, unless otherwise
Okay,
stated.
I'll power through it with strength. With
So yeah,
+1.
it does definitely sound like it's a strength roll.
Yep. Well, I have choices there. So my strength is my second highest stat. So I get a +1. Rolling 2d6 here, physical dice. So.
All right.
Okay, I have a 4 and a 2. It's a 6 +1. That's an 8.
That's an 8. So, with those choices, just a really quick mechanics thing. Those choices are dependent upon the role play. So
Okay.
if you were a dex guy shoving your shield, you can't choose dex because it would make sense. That's just, you know, to clarify that for you guys and anybody else watching. You have an 8. Now a 7 through 9 is a success. However, the success comes at a cost. With defy danger, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or an ugly choice. So I'll let you choose. What do you feel that you're down for getting? A worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice?
Okay, let's say that because I have to choose one of those three, right?
Yeah, I'm letting you choose that. It's my choice between those and what happens, but I'm asking you. I'm levying you.
I'll go with the ugly choice. I'm curious.
The ugly choice?
Yeah.
Okay, you can shove your shield in its mouth, but as it's trying to shake the shield out and crush it, and as you said, it's bending. You can see, like, once you're reaching for your sword to, you know, run it through, you can see the shield is getting loose, and it's almost not keeping its mouth open, but the creature is infuriated, and despite breaking its own teeth, it wants to just crush your shield. And you can see it almost slipping, and it always seems to be slipping towards Helga's direction.
Okay.
Noticing this, do you still try to run it through?
I put myself between Helga and the creature and then run it through. So if it does come down, it will damage me instead.
Okay, so you're trying to defend Helga.
Yeah.
That's a defend move.
Okay.
So if you
all I'm doing is I'm still ramming it through. I'm not actively defending. I'm still ramming it through. I'm just standing in between as like a wall.
All right, cool. So as you grab your sword and you're going to interpose yourself between this oversized creature and Helga. Helga, please tell me how you react as this shield slips through the creature's mouth and rockets towards you.
So the shield itself is the thing that I need to avoid at this moment, then?
The shield, you can react however you like. The shield is rocketing towards you. Right now, you can see little tendrils of the creature's blood peeling off of it from its bleeding maw, and it just massive amounts of saliva, thick, heavy saliva flicking off of it as well as it's flying towards your direction.
And the stench, that fetid breath.
Oh, if you wait too long, you will smell that. It'd be right up in your face.
So Helga's thinking back to the hours of combat training at the back at the cloisters, and she remembers this one particular device where you hit one side and it spins round and you have to avoid it. When it's similar to the jousting devices that knights use, where you hit one side of the shield and maybe some kind of spiked ball on a chain comes whipping round. So what she's going to do is dive low underneath and try to take out one, shatter the leg, the shin bones of this huge beast, this huge dog. She's not particularly scared of it. She wants to help Roland.
All right.
So dive and roll.
So if you would be kind enough to do a dexterity-based defy danger.
Okay. Ooh. Straight 2d6. Come on, baby. Okay, that's a 7.
So just barely, not with much grace at all. You do manage to dive under the shield. As a matter of fact, you know what? You describe how you succeed, but there is going to be a cost, and I'll let you choose as I let Sean choose. A worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice.
I think there's got to be a worse outcome. There's blood on the floor. She slips and doesn't get to roll as far as she'd liked, and the shield comes clattering down on the back of her head. And she does roll, but she's assisted by the weight and the force of the shield hitting her.
All right, so just the worst outcome is Helga is knocked to the floor.
Yeah.
And she hits the back of her head, so she's going to be blacked out for a few moments, which in combat feel like an eternity.
Yeah,
however,
that was a bit worse.
that's a bit worse. You don't take any damage, but that's a bit worse. The Roland of Thorn, you interpose yourself. You have your sword at the ready, the tip pointed towards this oversized creature, this rumored beast that you now know is fact. What do you do? After you unmute, that is. Which is a problem everyone has.
No. So I yell at it, just as roaring and saying, "I will send you back to the hell where you spawned off, you creature. You will not hurt us any further." And I swing the sword. Strength plus, so that's 2d6 plus 1. That's 6 plus 4, that's 10, so a total of 11.
Okay, a total of 11. Now, the great thing about Dungeon World is when you have a 10 or higher, it's always a success. But with a hack and slash move, at your option, you can choose to deal an additional 1d6 damage, but pardon me. But in doing so, you open yourself to the enemy's attack.
I'll not do the extra damage. I'm fine.
Okay. So
I don't have my shield now, so otherwise I would do that possibly.
All right. So if you'd be so kind enough to roll your damage.
Okay. So that's a 1d10 plus 1. Okay. Using this one here. 1 plus 1, so 2 damage.
So, all right. So you see your sword, stabbing in, knowing you could have could have gotten a better shot in. It was open for that attack, but choosing to rely on your training of, you know, every attack is also a defense. Every defense is also an attack. You chose to go with that mentality, and your sword clips it, nicks it a bit, and you see some of this black hair flying off, and ever so slight bit of blood. But with Helga on the floor and you standing before it, shoving a shield in its maw, daring to stab it, the creature again just widens up its maw, and you can hear, you know, its breath just as it's growing closer and closer to your face, much as it did when you had your shield, attempting to clamp its jaws around your head.
Okay.
What do you do?
So I will try to. How far is the shield from me?
A few paces. It's by
Okay.
it's just behind, you know, it's just behind Helga.
I will try to then dodge
And
it.
now that if you're turning around, you do notice Helga is on the floor, fairly motionless.
I did notice that. My thing is that as long as the creature's engaged with me, then we're golden. You know, it's. I'm thinking positive here. My character is as much as he can. I will try to do just to dodge the creature's bite.
Okay, so that sounds like you're trying to defy danger, and that
Yeah.
also sounds like it's dex-based defy danger.
Yeah. So for me, I have 12 dex, so it's just normal 2d6 with no bonus or minus. And I rolled an 8 total.
You rolled an 8? Okay. So, I think, all right. I think this is interesting. What kind of armor are you wearing?
Evil DM laugh, never good sign. I know that laugh very
You're
well.
wearing chainmail, correct?
No, I'm wearing scale mail.
Oh, you're wearing scale mail?
Right.
That's still
Yeah,
fine.
scale armor.
That's still fine. The creature bites at you, and you can see that it's coming towards your head when you go to defend yourself. This creature actually sees and notices your defense. You pick up on it actually noticing and readjusting its attack to now go for your midsection. And as it's starting to clamp down, before it gets a good grab of you, you can feel its teeth digging in between the scales of your armor, and you're faced with a pretty ugly choice. You can get out of the way of this attack, and avoid damage, but in doing so, probably have a chunk ripped out of your armor, because you know this creature's bite is fierce. It bent your shield. Or you can stay and just take the attack and let the teeth sink in straight and maybe pierce one or two, like a handful of scales, rather than ripping off an entire piece of your armor.
I'll move out of the way and I can get my armor fixed.
So yeah, you dodge out of the way,
armor.
and as it's digging its teeth in, its teeth do penetrate your armor, but there's not much in the way of flesh behind there. You push yourself away, and it literally clamps down its jaw, and with nothing there, with nothing to resist its bite, it actually shatters part of your armor away. And when it tears its face away and you tear yourself away, you're left with a huge piece of armor missing from your side.
Okay.
So, Helga, in this moment of unconsciousness, what dreams or visions is Helga having?
Oh man, she sees her god Amos bearing the hammer that she is a maiden of, and she looks beyond the hammer and she sees the face staring down upon her, and it's the face of Sir Roland. and she smiles.
All right, cool. So, uh, Robert, Sir Robert of Thorn, standing there,
Roland.
Roland. I keep making that mistake. That is great. Not really, but Sir Roland of Thorn. At least I got the Thorn part correct. Standing there, just narrowly escaping these jaws, these powerful jaws, these jaws that already firsthand can actually envelop your entire head. That can, be stretched so far because they are so large that he could bite you in half. You feel because he bit your shield, he tore off a piece of armor. This myth is quite a vicious myth, and maybe it was a bit understated. But you're standing there, no shield, half your armor, half your upper torso is destroyed in your armor. Your scales are falling off piece by piece as you're moving around in this combat. Your ally, your sister, not only in battle but in faith, lying there motionless at the moment. What does Roland do?
Well, Roland lives for this kind of challenge. He lives for to fight evil, and he's been trained not to not have fear, but to kind of like just to calm himself and give himself into the hands of fate and the hands of the gods, especially Amos, because he believes that everything that happens in this sense is decided in a just way, and he believes that evil must be vanquished even at the price of his own life. So he doesn't even say anything. He just goes into an aggressive high stance with his sword, like this, where it's a little bit higher, and he hacks away at this. He goes down from a upper quick slash onto the head of the creature, and that's a hack and slash move. So that's strength plus 2d6 plus strength.
Yes, sir.
So that's a 6 plus 1, 7 in total.
So it's barely a success. So roll your damage.
Okay. Wait, I'll use the green one. I rolled an 8.
An 8.
Funny, the other one is a crit, 1 damage. This one is 8, almost max damage.
So rolling. You rolled an 8.
I rolled an 8. Yep.
Okay.
8 actually, and plus 1. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot. I have the sword still, so 9 in total.
All right. Beautiful. However, if you would be so kind as to roll a d6, and
Okay.
that's how much damage you take. However, being that your armor is so in such a state, as you crash down with your sword, it unerringly, shot its head forward. It took the blow to its cranium to sink its teeth into your sides, and that's going to be the damage you take. With no armor from your shield, and your scale mail having 1 less armor.
Okay, so I take away 1. Okay, sounds good. I rolled 1 damage, and I have 1 damage reduction left from my armor, so I take 0 damage.
You take 0 damage. It goes for you, and besides the hot breath, besides the saliva spilling out of it as it's exhaling, to sink its teeth into you, you can actually feel its teeth on your flesh, but not the points. They just barely missed you. The smooth ends of the teeth glide along your flesh as you bring your sword barreling down into the cranium of this creature. And as you do so, you hit it fairly hard. It stumbles to your left, and you just hear as it does so. That it then begins shaking its head, and instead of attacking you, it's backing away and stalking around, and it's meeting your gaze.
Okay, I will try to pick up my shield and stand in between it and Sister Helga.
All right. As at this time, in these moments, Sister Helga, your vision of seeing the god Amos bearing the hammer in which you bear, you can see the vision of Amos gazing down upon you, hammer clenched in fist. The god Amos raises his hammer, almost what you would feel initially like in glory. But mere moments later in your vision, he brings the hammer down, and he brings it down upon you. And just as Amos's hammer is crushed down upon you, everything disappears in a white flash, and as your eyes adjust, you can see the creature, this giant wolf-like creature with fur as black as night, eyes burning with the fires of hell, stalking around you, and your brother, not only in battle, but your brother in faith, making his way towards you, his armor in a state rarely, if ever, seen. What do you do?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I let you down. We must kill this creature.
You haven't let me down. This is a dangerous beast. We must combine our strength and fight it.
I will attack from the right, she says, picking up her hammer, feeling the weight again.
I'm saying, just believe in our Lord Amos and his just ways, and he will lead you through the valley of darkness.
And she remembers
just as he did his son Mithros.
I need to talk to you about that at the moment when we have chance. But now we have this beast.
We can argue about this later.
Let us deal with this creature. Her eyes blaze with a fury, with herself as well as this creature, and she will leap forward to engage.
All right. As your leap, you gain your consciousness. You're having this discussion. The creature doesn't interject. It doesn't attack. It doesn't make its way forward in the discussion. But it just watches you, circles around. It lets Sir Roland get his bent shield. It lets Lady Helga rise up and ready herself. It's actually waiting for Helga to attack. And as you do, it almost tilts its head quizzically. So if you would, Sister Helga, Maiden of the Thorn, roll your hack and slash.
So that's a 8 on the dice plus 1, I believe.
It's 2d6.
Yeah, strength. Did you say?
Yes.
Plus. So that's 9 in total.
9 in total. All right. So roll your damage.
One.
All right. So actually, you deal your 1 damage to it, but it waiting for you. Actually,
wait. Sorry. I don't want to interact. Sorry. Really apologies. Out of character.
Okay.
But shouldn't you get a bonus 1 with your weapon? Or am I wrong there?
No. Each weapon has its own stipulation. Not every weapon gives you a bonus.
Sorry. Apologies.
Like what are the weapon tags for a mace? I mean a hammer. Sorry. Ooh, this is
I don't know. I don't know whether it was listed with any tags on.
okay. If let me just go down to the cleric, really quick. Cleric can get a mace. Well, we'll just say that the the warhammer. Okay, it's close and it's one weight. Those are the only tags. So you have to be close in to use it, of course, and it has a weight of 1. So basically, it doesn't give any extra damage.
Yep.
But you know, you can roleplay, use it. You could use it to break down like wooden doors. You could hammer away at wooden doors and whatnot. But in this instance, when you're bringing your warhammer down to bear on the creature, it actually opens its mouth, and as it does, at the very last moment, you notice it's not going for you. It actually goes for your warhammer.
Well.
And it bites down on your warhammer, you know, and you can feel the weight sort of kick its head back, but it recovers really quickly and tears the warhammer from your hand and tosses it to the side. And then it's stalking around you still. And now it's gazing upon you. However, as it's gazing upon you, my fair maiden, are you don't have any immunities, right? That's only Roland, correct?
No, nothing special. Just spells. That's it.
All right, cool. So if you would be so kind as to defy danger as it's locking eyes with you, and do so with a wisdom roll.
Okay. Well,
the good news is that in Dungeon World, whenever you fail a roll by rolling a 6 or less, you do get a point of experience.
Hey!
So you learn from your mistakes. I mean, it's what we do as human beings and dwarves, apparently. So, if you would be so kind as to mark off a point of experience for yourself.
So trying to stare this thing down was a bad idea then.
Yeah. So you notice that your brother in battle was staring it down, but when you tried to do the same, you're greeted with more visions, and in these visions you can see the black gates of Death's realm before you, and that's the sign of death. I mean, the rumors that these black spikes are made from the black gates are just they're haunting you right now. And Sir Roland, you can see your sister in battle fall to her knees as she was staring the creature down, and the creature's still staring at her. Their eyes are still locked. What do you do?
I want to stab at the creature's eye, so another hack and slash. Rolling here, and I rolled a 3.
The good thing about Dungeon World is...
It's a total of 4. Yeah, I know. It's a total of 4, but doesn't matter. It's a fail. So I get an XP, right?
So you do mark down a point of experience, right? And this time when you try to hack it, it almost reads your moves, having fallen to the amount of damage. It felt the sting of your sword before. It's a feeling it seems to not want to feel again. So it dips to the side, and if this creature was human, if this creature was like you, it would almost be like it's shouldering you to take it down, as it dips to the side and lunges towards you, digging its own side. You could feel its bones stabbing into your exposed, your unarmored side, knocking the wind out of you as you're knocked to the floor. The creature then commences to stalk around at you once again. Now, its gaze no longer looking upon your sister. Helga, you do sort of shake off the vision, and as you do, the both of you see the creature sort of bare its teeth and then it backs away a few steps before turning to run back into the forest.
Okay. Well, I stand up and I look around, seeing if there's any other wolves or creatures or danger, and I sheath the sword. Even though I want to very much so go after the creature and slay it, as is my vow, and I will. But one of the other vows is I cannot let other people suffer and die.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
If you're looking for danger, I believe the move is discern realities.
Okay.
Basically, you just roll 2d6, and depending on your roll, you can ask me a few questions.
How about instead of discern reality, I do a prayer to see if, and I pray to the great Lord of Justice Amos, if evil surrounds me. Please help me. This is my prayer. Please lead us through the darkness, as you are the shepherd of justice, the ever bright hammer that will smack down evil, and show us if evil is surrounding us, like the dark fog of the underworld.
And as you say that, the dark fog, you can see a fog. You notice the fog is not real. You know it's not tangible. It's not actual fog, but it is a vision overlaying the surrounding reality in which you see. And this fog is everywhere. It's all around you. But it's not like, you would sense evil in your training. You were trained to do so. You fought on the front lines of this war against the undead. You felt these evil forces, and the weight of this evil was nearly blinding in those fights. Here now, it seems to be faint. There's definitely some sort of evil. And as you're looking, the fog begins to break, and it breaks in a singular path along into the distance. A path similar to the direction you were going, but slightly askew.
Okay. I checked then for Sister Helga. I asked her, are you doing well? Are you injured?
Sister Helga doesn't answer immediately. She's still in the kneeling position, looking at the branches and grass still moving from where the beast departed, and her faith inside her faith is not quite broken, but bent. And however, she outwardly will not reveal that to Sir Roland, and she will put on a smile, eyes fierce. I am fine. We scared it away. And she will bend, look away from Roland. A smile will fade slightly as she reaches over and picks up her hammer.
Well, we were also blessed by Amos, and maybe a little bit more so. But we will. Hopefully, we can face this beast again and slay it. We must continue on with our mission, though. Even
Yes.
though I really feel that I should follow this creature and slay it. It will mean slaying much more of the undead if we find this artifact.
I think, yeah, the mission is more important.
We should find maybe a place to rest. Or do you feel up to continuing on?
I am fine, she lies. Let us be on.
I'm a little bit. I'm not saying that I know she doesn't lie. I would probably have to roll for that, but I'm kind of maybe guessing that she went through a lot of things. I'm like, well, we'll go still for a while, and then we'll find a place to rest. Tired warriors of Amos are not effective warriors, so let's continue on.
All right, so what path?
Look at your armor. It's damaged. She says, changing the subject.
My real armor is in my heart and in my faith. I will repair it. It is not as important as this mission.
You're right. You're always right.
No. Amos is always right. You know that. It is like one of the first rules in the book. But anyway, let's continue on.
She mentally superimposes Amos's face over yours and nods.
As you're talking, you're noticing that the vision of the fog that you were having is fading away. So you proceed along the path you were going, and obviously the encounter with this giant canine creature proves you're on the right track. This city or this town, these people that worship this obscure, religion. It was rumored that their forests are prowled by this creature. Finally, you come across this town, the name of which, well, Helga, being a studied priest, a warrior priest, a cleric in the service of Amos, you would probably have some knowledge as to this town. What indeed is this town's name?
It would be something like it's mostly wooded, did you say? So something like Winterfell, something like that. Winterfell.
Oh, okay. Then it's you heard it's called Winterfell.
Yeah.
Hush. So this town of Winterfell. You've also heard a little bit about the religion. The one fact, or you would assume it's fact, this is what you know, that the town of Winterfell, the people worship the sun. It's an obscure religion. You know, the religion you have, you are servant of Amos, servant of a god. And Amos rewards his servants with skills and powers and with their prayers. But these people worship the sun. The sun rises and the sun falls, and there are gods of the sun, but you've been informed they worship the sun. But please, our intrepid heroes, what do you do when you come across this town where the forest begins to clear and you start to see buildings made of wood and stone and people walking back and forth?
Well, I will look at Sister Helga and said, well, we should find a place to stay, an inn perhaps of some sort, or maybe, I don't think they will have a local temple to our Lord, but an inn will surely help us further.
Perhaps we could go straight to the headman, seek lodgings with him.
Maybe we could do that.
That's what I would do. Yes.
I look around. Do I see anybody that seems to have any kind of authority, like a guard or something or higher?
Okay, so you guys are walking into the city, looking around for someone who seems to be of authority, and you have to understand what the people see. They see, this armored dwarf and this once armored human walking around, a large piece of his scale mail missing from his side, the clothing underneath torn away. and carrying a severely bent shield. And of course, you're getting awkward gazes. Some people are gawking at you, and there isn't a town guard, but there does seem to be an older gentleman staring at you. As you're looking around, you may lock eyes with him. His
Okay.
beard is graying, and he's just giving you a really stern look. And he seems to have, his dress. There's nothing overtly fancy about his dress, but he is wearing a hood as well.
Okay. So I would like to use my ability, I am the law, because I am the law. No. That's how it's called. So that's you roll 2d6 plus charisma, and and I'll role play it out, of course, but I want to roll it out first to see how. Okay, if that's okay.
All right.
Before I role play it out.
Usually we just role play and then we make the rolls after role playing.
Well, because I want to see if I succeed or not. So that's why I'm saying.
Let's see what the law. You being
Or I can role play it first. I don't care. I'll just go with that. Okay, I said, greetings, greetings, sir. I am Sir Roland of Thorn. I am I say that. I can't think of the word. Out of character. I'm not saying that. I am a servant of our great Lord of Justice, Amos, and I would like you to help us in our great quest. And I know that you are a man of the law, as I can see, and of great respect. I can feel that, and you will help us cleanse this area of the evil that it surrounds. And I roll for my I am the law roll.
Okay.
I get 2d6 plus 2, and 7 or higher. So I get a 4, a 2 that's a 6, plus 2 that's an 8. And it says at a 7 or plus, I can choose do what you say.
Okay, so
yeah.
What was it you wanted him to do again?
To help us help us with our quest, basically meaning giving us. I'll continue just simply. We are in need of lodging, and as you can see, my armor needs to be repaired. Also, some information would be helpful since we are foreigners here, as you can see.
So the older gentleman, he looks at you, again locking eyes. He grins, and he's not an ancient individual. He's not, a pauper as you would define it, but he is missing several teeth, and he does have quite the pungent smell to his breath. Looks down at your exposed side, your damaged armor, and then at your shield, and he turns, levies a, and then just motions you to follow him.
I said, well, I see these people here are God-fearing men. We will continue. We will follow them then. And I follow him.
Okay.
Confident, maybe a little bit naively so, confident in my rank and status has been recognized and respected.
All this time, Sister Helga's just been standing there with her arms folded over her bosom, staring back at these people that are staring at her, scowling at them. Never seen a dwarf before.
And as you say that, some of them sort of back away, and then almost on cue, the whispers in the background. When was the last time we said it? And they just start picking up. Your attempt to interact with them is making them interact with each other even more. But the older gentleman, the one with the hood, leads you to a house, or if you follow, leads you to a house. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I will follow on after Sir Roland.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So he leads you uh, to a house, and he says, "You serve, I serve too. We all serve. We are servants to the
Yes.
sun. And you look like." He begins greeting again. "You had quite a hard time in your service." And he opens up his door, walks inside.
And I ask him, "Do you mean you're followers of Zathra, the god of the sun, goddess of the sun?"
All right. Let me just write down another.
Yeah, that's in the pantheon, so the sun god. Because you said there's a sun or sun goddess.
Yep. There is whatever you want. You can interject things into the world. It's
Well, that's why I'm
perfectly
saying, But you also said something, so I'm just like, my
fine.
question is,
Zathra. Shakes his head. You are strong of body, young man. But not much of mind, are you? Please. He motions over to what is his dining area and kitchen by a hearth. The hearth is, the fire of the hearth is burning. There's a pot over it and smoke uh,
put
coming
my
up.
shield and my helmet. I wasn't wearing my helmet. I had it on the side. Helmet is just fluff, so I don't get it. Or let's say I don't have a helmet, so because maybe I get an extra bonus. So I just put my shield on the side. I have my sword on my side, and I sit down. And although it's probably not polite to sit with a, although in it's medieval times, probably yes. At least you have your sword always at your side, mostly. So I will sit down and await what this person was saying. Well, as I said, my name is Sir Roland of Thorn, and this is my associate, Sister Helga, Maiden of the Hammer. We're both followers of Amos. May we know your name, good sir?
I'm but a servant. Like I said, a servant to the sun.
To
Why
the
would you
sun.
want to know my humble name?
Well, even though we're all servants to the gods, we are also we do have also a name to distinguish each other from each other, so we know who to speak to, how to say.
You can, and then he looks over, what is, at this point, what is Helga actually doing?
She's trying desperately to hide her impatience. She's pacing up and down, looking at things, looking at the door, wanting to get out of it.
I have a weird mixture of on my face of confusion, a bit of confusion because I'm not really. I knew that they were said that they're following the sun, but I am very familiar with my own religion, But I'm not really familiar with any other alternate religions that exist in this world or in this because I'm just not. So for me, I'm a little bit confused, curious, and a little bit wary at this point already. So.
Okay, Helga blurts out, "Are you the head man?" Taking a step forward towards this man with the hood.
Yes, please. Motions to where Roland is for you to sit down. Cracks his neck. Read. Oswald. Read. You can call me if you want.
Oswald Rita?
He tilts his head quizzically to the side. Oswald.
Oswald. I see. I understand.
So
Well,
Oswald Reed.
Oswald Ree.
Reed with a D.
Okay.
Sister Helga sits down then, satisfied. Lays her hammer at her side.
So, Oswald, when you said "follows of the sun," what do you meant with that? As we said, we are foreigners here to these lands.
Oh, yes. Yes, you are. Goes over to his pot, smells it, and takes a seat by you, and then he just starts staring at Helga. Foreigners, indeed, not the type to belong in our fair town. What brings you here?
We have a quest. Oh,
Sister
go ahead.
Helga.
Yeah.
She opens her mouth to speak and then realises that asking straight out might be a bad idea, so she sits back down again.
I'm saying that we're on a quest for our church here of great importance to us. We're looking for an artifact. My character was a little bit thinking because he wasn't sure if he should tell this person what is up, but he believes that in order to find clues, he might need to probably risk it.
All right. Well, at the notion of Helga's hesitance, this older man, he sits down, and as he sits down and puts his arms on the table, crossing his hands, you can see like the shape of his muscle, the contours of his muscle through what clothing he's wearing. He's obviously, he's older. He's an older gentleman, but he's obviously very fit. Smiling at Helga, and now that Helga is close enough, she can smell that pungent off smell of this gentleman's breath, and notice all the missing teeth from his mouth. He's still, donning his hood. He hasn't, the as you would think, people taking off their hat and whatnot. He still hasn't changed, and just mentions to Helga, "First smart thing I've seen you do. You have to be deserving of knowledge." And then turns to Roland. So
missing teeth, you said.
So your church. What are you looking? And then looks over and sort of taps his pot, just like with the tip of his finger. You can hear it just tss, 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 with the moisture of his skin on the heat of the pot. He's looking at it.
Okay, I'm thinking now. My character is thinking now. Then he says, "Yes, your help would be greatly appreciated. Even if we have a difference in opinion about religion here, we don't need to discuss this. But it would be great, or very helpful, and I do believe that we are on the same side here. At least I do hope." On the side of the living, on the side of what is holy. You must have noticed in your area all kinds of abominations, like great wolves, possibly even undead, that walk here.
He starts, scratching his beard. His beard is very thick and really rough. You can just hear the scraping of this man's rough beard as he's, stroking it. Abominations. The wolf of the woods. He protects us. There are many evils outside of our fair town. Many evils indeed.
Does he protect you, or does he keep you here like in a prison? I say boldly.
No, young one. You don't understand. We have our own little slice of paradise here. Most are protected. Those and again shooting a glance over to Helga, he smirks under his beard. Most deserving of knowledge or treated to that. We are
Okay.
enlightened by the sun.
And I stand up and I just like smash down because I'm kind of like I've been holding back now, but my pride and not just my pride but my great faith, almost like a little bit like he's a little bit fanatic sometimes, but he doesn't show it always. But he's just like, how dare you say that we're not deserving? We're servants of Amos. We dedicate our life to help the people and the children of the gods, and you including these. You're human, are you not? All the good, fair folk of this world are under his protection, including elves, dwarves, human, and all the good races who pray to these gods in all their different aspects. Now, I don't understand with the sun what you're talking about, but it does smell to me as blasphemy. And let me tell you, the Inquisition of the capital wouldn't be pleased. And my character is a little bit, a little bit too bold. But he's been holding back for a long time.
He's actually pretty calm. He's actually pretty calm in his response. He stands up, but he doesn't shoot up. He stands up and he goes, "Well, you." He grins again. "You've proven yourself. I could only imagine." Looks at the little dwarf in the corner. What headache and pain and turmoil you must have endured. You, my friend. The sun will embrace you. But this one, knowledge is earned, is it not?
I never said it is not earned. But all you talk about is worshiping the sun, and knowledge is earned, and you're smirking. You're not being. You're literally dancing around the pot here. I want to know what you mean with what is the wolf protecting you from, and I demand it in the name of the Holy Church.
He almost goes back over to his pot, as when you mentioned dancing around the pot.
Yeah.
And he goes over to the side, grabs a piece of like burlap cloth, folds it a few times, and he's ignoring you right now. And he goes, picks his pot up with the burlap and just puts it on the table, the steam rising up. And he just looks at you. "So, young one, you're a bit hot-tempered, aren't you?"
I dislike when people are yanking my chains, sir. You're obviously not telling us here something. You're saying this wolf, this abomination, is protecting you. What kind of from what evil is that evil protecting you? Doesn't make sense.
Oh, you think you know it all.
I never said that. Only the God of knowledge, Isgron, knows it all.
Oh hell, you're just shooting me a whole bunch of stuff I need to write down.
Well, we need to have a God of knowledge. Sorry, that's what.
I don't think the wolf was evil, says Sister Helga in a small voice, looking up at.
I could feel the evil in it. I have felt the evil in this woods. Now, either somebody has told you a lie that they're protecting you, or something else is going on here.
Young man, the evil in the woods you felt could have been you. You ever stop to think about that?
Me? I dedicate my
places
life.
where you don't belong.
I dedicate my life to serving people.
So you say.
Even people like you, who don't want my help. You're surrounded by the forces of evil, and you don't even notice it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. He motions back to his seat again. He sort of seems to be gritting his teeth underneath the hair of his beard.
Speaking of teeth, you said some of his teeth were broken.
Yeah.
Were they broken in a similar position to the ones on the wolf?
Are you trying to discern realities?
Yep.
that would sound like a discern reality thing. So roll 2d6. Let's see. Discern realities. It sounds like you're trying to. Yeah. So 2d6 plus your wisdom. Yeah. Let me know what you get.
11.
Oh my. Jeez. So you can choose 3 questions from the discern realities move list. Let's see. What happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here? And what here is not what it appears to be? You can choose 3 of those questions to ask.
Okay, I'll choose the last one then to start with.
That's a good one. I didn't want to tell you, but I agree. That's one of the first questions.
Which
so
one?
What here is not what it seems to be?
What here is not what it appears to be?
Yeah.
The old man isn't quite what he appears to be. He's an amalgam of things. As you've been sitting there fairly quiet, holding yourself back, being so reserved, you're noticing like the flexing of massive tendons and muscles from beneath this old man's clothes, and you've never known any man, any human at the very least, to be so well defined. And you notice that he's large, and there's just something very off about him.
Yeah.
Something putting you off. You can
Color
feel like
of
your
his
heart
beard.
Yeah, you can feel your heart beating like the hammer of your god beating away at your chest, trying to awaken you to what this man really is, or what he's really doing here.
Yeah.
He definitely is something else rather than what he seems to be.
Yeah, that's right. She's thinking about that. The image of her god smiting down upon her when she was thinking of attacking the wolf. That's strange. It's something not quite right.
You have still 2 questions, Ian. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
You critted that.
What was the first one again? Could you go through them again, please?
What happened here recently? What is about to happen?
Yeah.
What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here?
Okay. So we'll go for the what is about to happen here.
That's a good one.
What is
Probably-
about to happen here?
Yeah.
You feel that with your heart pounding away like the hammer of your god, with this off-putting nature of this old man, and with the interaction unfolding between your brother in battle, your brother in faith, and this gentleman, that while this gentleman is calm, you really feel that there's something else about him. There's something that's not quite right. You feel that this old man, being as calm, oddly, as he is, that he is about to harm your brother in faith, Roland.
And what would help me in this here? Well, I can't remember the exact
Again, the
phrasing.
questions are, if you have any questions, everything is actually in the playbooks. It's like the second page of the playbook. But
All right.
the question of discern realities are, again, what happened here recently? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or
That's
valuable?
useful or valuable. So probably useful I was thinking of in the forthcoming combat? What might be useful? Either information or physical.
You can tell by the smell of the smoke now that it's on the table that what he was boiling away was herbs and whatnot, and it smells like it's some sort of, for lack of a better word right now, a poultice. But poultices are usually like thick and applied. But a more naturalistic healing remedy was boiling away in this pot. And, being that you were attacked by such a large canine, that healing remedies might be quite useful to you. If you'd like, and because I need, can we take like a 2-minute quick break if you need any water or bio, because I do, then we'll be right back.
Yeah, okay, 2 minutes, yeah, cheers.
Sounds good. So yeah,
And we hit our intermission music, which I don't know what should be. What should be the intermission music for a fantasy game? Like a Conan theme or something?
Sister Helga's back.
yeah, I'm back too. You're muted. You are muted.
Fucking, you know what? Like, I got the new mic and everything, and I got the Nessie, and this is the little button, and everybody complains about it. And all the complaints are right. Sometimes it's just so sensitive. You think you unmute, and for some reason it double taps or something. Ugh.
And this was my old one. It happened to me all the time. I would sit on it. But this one, the good thing is that you have to actually, click it in.
Yeah, this one is simply a touch. So when you think you're all good, you're like, "Wah! All right, wait, I'm mute, son of a bitch." Anyway, returning to the game because last season, 5 seconds ago, our good priestess, cleric, maiden of the hammer, Helga discerned realities, figuring out that the old man, there's something about him that makes her feel that he isn't quite what he seems to be, that if events continue to unfold in the way that they are, that this old man will bring harm to Roland, and what this old man was cooking on his pot wasn't stew, but indeed some sort of holistic healing remedy. So with that, let us continue.
Gentlemen, please be seated again. For my sake, Sir Roland.
Okay, and I sit down. Although it is only proper. I'm definitely still angry because all of these things. It smells here of heresy. So yeah.
I'm not so sure. I had various visions during the incident in the woods, and these are leading me to perhaps think down a different route in this particular adventure. We are hosts in this man's house, so we should perhaps be more hospitable.
I don't know if I can, if my vow will allow me to do this.
Of course you can. She'll hold your hand, put her hand up on yours for a split second, and then take it away. This smells nice, sir.
And as you're saying that, he sort of already has a ladle in hand. You don't even know when he picked it up or where he picked it up from. You were very concerned on calming your friend down, and he's just blowing on it, slurping it up messily. Just winces for a second. It's good. And dips it into the ladle again and actually hands it to... Which one of you looked more scratched up?
Sir Roland, probably, although I've got a nasty bump on the back of my head. But,
I didn't lost any hit points, so I shouldn't have any actual wounds. Only my armor is damaged and my shield.
Yeah.
So none of you are actually bleeding. So he hands the ladle out. He motions to Helga. Just looks her up and down. Of course, looking at her like she's short. He hasn't sat down yet.
Thank you. He takes it from him and just says, "No hard feelings." And as she samples it,
and you can feel, being that you know intimately healing energies, and you've studied these things. You could definitely feel it invigorating you. Almost as if, like your flesh was both tightening and becoming more soft and supple, as if you were gaining years back on your life. He then dips it into the ladle and, offers it up to Roland. But he's actually scowling at you right now as he's doing so.
And I said, no thanks. I am not thirsty
He just growls.
or hungry.
I am but a servant. It's not my place to judge. But if it was, you can sleep here for the night. And then he just drops the ladle in the pot and starts walking away from you towards the door to his abode.
Good evening. Sleep well, sir.
I don't say anything. I just look at him with like also disgust and some anger, because I don't like what's going on. My character doesn't know it exactly, obviously, but he just doesn't trust him, man. It's one of his things as a paladin. He just doesn't trust anybody who is not like
yeah.
follow the gods.
Yeah, you're scowling at him, and he sort of grits his teeth. He's like, you feel that if you were close enough, you could almost hear his teeth actually grinding away. But being that you're scowling at him, you do notice that he's no longer missing any teeth, and then he turns and walks out of there. Almost like you think a child would, that was told, "Go to your room," except he's leaving his house.
Yep. I don't trust this man. I don't trust this entire place here. Something is not right here. I don't know what it is.
It's it's different. It's strange. It's difficult for me to put my finger on it. Helga's all twisted up inside. She wants to tell Sir Roland, but she doesn't want him to fly off the handle of her suspicions, of the fact that she thinks this man, this creature, saw into her soul, into her very soul, which could be construed as blasphemy in some circles by some people, by some knights not too far away from him. So she will keep quiet on her suspicions and just say, basically, this man's taken us into our house, into his house. He's fed us or offered food and shelter. We should at least thank him for that, rather than scowling at him.
I look at my pack and I said, I will eat my own rations. And I eat one of my rations, and I said, we should set up guards. I will take the first guard, and then after some time, you can take over, and I will sleep. I don't trust these people. Something is going on, and I don't like this whole sun worshipping religion. It's not of the way, and I don't like it. For now, I won't say or do anything. We will just go tomorrow further to our quest, which is our main concern. But
right. Okay. There is a for want of a better word, whereby I can produce a perimeter, a warning perimeter, whereby if danger enters that perimeter, I will be alerted. Would you like to perform that ritual?
That would be good. I will still stand guard, just in case if somebody can break through that perimeter somehow.
Very good. I will, Sister Helga will commune with Amos, and learn the. I'm trying to remember what the spell's called. It's.
Well, you can cast Basically, you know every spell of whatever level you're high enough to cast.
Yeah.
So your first level, you can cast first level spells, uh, and I believe you can memorize 1 plus your level in spells. Uh,
That's
so 1
well,
plus your level is 2. So you
yeah.
can memorize up to 2 level 1 spells. I know
Yeah.
we forgot to do this in the very beginning. That's my fault. So you can just choose a spell.
Yeah, I did have I'd them written down as cure light wounds and the holy weapon or whatever the equivalent is, where it gives you a bonus to damage on a weapon. But
Magic
when
weapon.
when I commune with my deity, those get wiped out, but according to the text, and you learn 2 other ones. And one of those would be the trying to find what it's called. I can't see it anywhere. Is it? It's the perimeter sanctuary. There it is. Sanctuary. Just it performs. It creates a perimeter, whereby if any danger crosses it.
Yeah, whenever someone acts with malice within the sanctuary,
Right,
including entering with harmful intent.
Yeah, that's it. So I shall walk around the perimeter, the outside of this hut, and return and do the various ceremonial things and set it off.
Again, the gawking, the stopping, the staring, and the whispers of the townsfolk.
This time I shall not return the stairs. I shall just carry on my business.
Can you believe that? I don't know. Wait, these people are out. Weird. All right. So basically, you finish your sanctuary, and role play wise, how would you like your alarms to be raised, as it were? How does Amos alert you to danger within your sanctuary? How does that manifest itself?
Okay. I think it would be some kind of inner alarm rather than an external klaxon or flashing lights or anything. It would be like it would instantly know. It would say danger, danger inside the head. Danger. Something is not right. Someone.
So just a feeling of danger.
Yeah, I think so. It would manifest itself perhaps initially as I walked round as some kind of a faint glow on the ground, which would slowly dissipate.
So describe, Helga, how your reaction is as just as you finish this spell, this sanctuary. Actually, you have to roll to cast a spell. I forgot that. That's casting a spell is a move. So.
Okay, I shall cast with a +2 on this one. Oops, I forgot to clear.
2d6 roll plus whatever it says casting a spell gives you.
Yeah.
Which should be for you it's wisdom.
Let's try again. Ooh. Oh, pants. So that's a 5. So fantastic.
So write a point of experience.
Oh no, my God, why have you forsaken me?
And just as you feel that you were about to finish that spell, that thought passes through Helga's mind about her God for has he forsaken her with how the events are unfolding, and just as you were about to sprinkle the last bit of dust or say the last prayer to complete this spell, you almost feel like that momentary just waning of your faith. With that waning went the power of this spell. So it completely fails. It completely fails, and you can feel the memory of this spell sort of fading away, as if its power went, is gone. It's drained from you. The ability to cast it for this
So-
moment in time is
Yeah.
done with.
She's still outside when she's just about to finish it, and it fails and it drifts away, and she sits down on the doorstep, head in her hands, and starts to sob.
And
And
again,
I come out, Sir Roland comes out, and I say, and I come down and I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, "What is wrong?"
That makes her cry even further.
and as you're coming out here and that the sobbing is growing, the passers-by are becoming less passers-by and more starting to crowd. The whispers are growing. Oh my God, what did he do to her? What's going on? I can't believe it. And with that, what's wrong? I guess we'll find out next week, right?
Yep.
As this is the end of the session.
On a cliffhanger.
Yes. Now, usually the end of session, we ask a couple questions, if I can remember them correctly, to see whether or not any experience is generated. One is, did you loot a memorable treasure? Which I very much don't think so. I think the other one is, did you defeat a notable enemy? Which, to a certain extent, I think you did.
We didn't kill it, but it did run off.
But you defeated it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think you should get a point of experience for defeating a notable enemy. And finally, did you learn something important about the world? Do you guys feel you learned something important about the world?
Yeah.
I think so.
Sure.
And what would that important thing be?
Well, there's some kind of a village, and the people here are not what they seem. I'm guessing there's some kind of shapeshifters of some sort, but that's like more out of character.
Well, that's also conjecture. That's not actual
It's
knowledge.
conjecture. Yes, it's conjecture. It's not what my character knows. Okay, so he definitely feels that there's some kind of weird sun religion that doesn't fit with the teachings that he knows, and that they're guarded by this big wolf, and but all these woods are filled with evil, and they're saying that the wolf is protecting them. So there's something definitely wrong here. So I think we did learn something about the world.
Right. Do you feel that that's the same thing, or do you feel that the important thing you learned was something else, Ian?
I think she's learning that almost all her teaching in the cloisters about how great and good Amos is, there's a weakness there. There's a flaw in there somewhere. There are beings out there much more powerful and stronger than Amos, and that's shaken her belief to the core.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to point out what exactly you learned, but with what you guys said, you did actually learn something important about the world, and for that, you both get a point of experience. Finally, actually, you know what? I'm going to let you know exactly what you learned, because I think it's important going forward in playing Dungeon World. The fact that you learned that the creature that was rumored is actually a guardian to this town is a point of fact in the world. Something like learning going through your own faith is a personal growth,
Good.
not so much new knowledge of the world. You knew that there was myths of this creature, but in this instance, in this session, you learned from this older gentleman from Oswald that the creature is a guardian.
Yeah, would you say that the conjecture is less conjecture for Sister Helga as well?
What do you mean?
Conjecture that Oswald is the a shapeshifter, that he is.
That's you didn't learn if he is, or if he's not, or if anyone else in the town is, or if they're not. So
yeah,
right now, it is conjecture. It seems that way.
It certainly does.
Again, the awesome thing about Dungeon World is that though I do have to answer honestly, I don't have to volunteer the specifics. I just have to keep all my answers honest. So that's still up to you if you want to investigate that point of conjecture, fact, curiosity any further. We can definitely do that next week.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully it won't be at the same time. Hopefully it'll be on time next week.
The question is if other people from the group are also going to show up, then it's going to be a little bit different game then.
It might be a little bit different. Hopefully, they will show up. You guys will have bonds with them, and maybe you got separated when the wolf attacked,
Mm-hmm.
and they've stumbled upon the town when they did, just a little bit later, which will be fine. So finally, at the end of session, we have to see if any of our bonds were resolved. Do you feel that any of your bonds came to a resolution?
I still trust Sister Helga. Probably more so. I haven't found a reason to not trust her yet.
Maybe next
In
week.
character, maybe out of character. Obviously, I know he's not saying the full truth.
Yeah. So
But right now, it hasn't been resolved yet.
I think perhaps in that last encounter when I made the discoveries in the hut, I kept him safe, but that's going to be an ongoing thing anyway. So I don't think mine's fully resolved as yet.
Yeah, you that's great. So you gain, what was that? 2 additional experience for end of session.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what is your total experience at the moment?
4.
3.
Okay. So you know what? It's probably not the right thing or the wrong thing according to the rules, but just both of you just take an additional point of experience because I think I had a lot of fun doing that, and I think your personal role plays were pretty cool, and what was on the mailing is pretty cool. The way leveling up works in Dungeon World is that every level you look at your total experience. If that experience equals or exceeds your level plus 7, you remove that amount of experience and level up when you make camp or when you rest.
Okay.
So when you first, now I'll double check. I could be remembering incorrectly. It's, being this is the first game I ever ran, that is a distinct possibility. But I mean, you guys aren't that far from second level. The first few levels should go pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're gonna end the live broadcast now. So if you guys would, reintroduce yourselves and plug any online endeavors in which you're taking from my left to right. Right, of course. Ian, go for it.
Okay, yeah, it's been good. I've watched one of Nelson's games, and it's running quite good. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I like the system, and I like Nelson, and yeah, and it's cool. And thank you very much, Sean, for being my friend.
Best friend. I want to thank Ian and of course Nelson for being a great DM. This was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Interesting in medias res beginning, and it was a good way of doing it. So we start in the thick of things. I enjoyed the game a lot. I found the concepts interesting because when I first read the rules, it felt like, oh, it's another D&D clone. Kind of is, but kind of isn't. So it's got its own things to it, and it's more storyteller-esque. So it's more for a storyteller or actor type player. That's interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays out. Yeah, and again, thanks Ian for playing the character really well. I think we did well together. And Nelson, you did a great job for being your first game with this system. Obviously not the first game that you did DM'd, but it's always a little bit. It's not always easy to play. I know how that feels to run a system for the first time. So I have my channel. You can check it out, Gaming Beast 82. I have video game related stuff. I have, of course, lots of role-playing, tabletop role-playing related stuff. The last thing was the 4th session of Censar. Check out Nelson's videos. They're entertaining. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
And if you guys are here and don't know me, I'm Nelson. Flip to the channel. I do tons of crap for the month of January. I'm attempting to burn my brain out and make it explode by playing Stars Without Numbers starting next Tuesday, a campaign, running 2 Star Wars trilogies on Wednesdays, 2 3-shot Dungeon World games, this being the first, the next one starting in another hour from now, as well as building a massive space station entitled Chimera 1 Zeta. So check that out, check my store out, and just join us next week for the game, and I hope you all enjoyed. With that said, yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Peace.